Every once in a while, international football gives us a week that doesn't just rewrite a player's season, it rewrites their entire reputation. And this international break, it belongs to one man, Troy Parrott. 5 goals, 2 games, one nation dragged by the collar towards the World Cup dream. If you weren't watching Ireland this week, you missed the moment a career sadly snapped into focus. Let's talk about how a striker once dismissed as potential announced himself as presence, and why this might be the turning point his entire journey has been building toward. Five goals in 2 games. That's not form. That's a statement. Ireland walked into this break needing something massive. The margins were tiny, the group unforgiving, and the pressure suffocating. But with Parrott, he didn't just step up, he took over. Game 1, he was clinical, ruthless finishing, and a brace that felt like a warning shot. Not just to the opponents, but to anyone who still thought Ireland lacked a match winner. Game 2 versus Hungary, this is where the folklore begins. A hat-trick that will live in Irish football history. Each goal different, each one dripping with confidence. The type of performance where everything slows down for the player, while the entire nation holds its breath. Ireland needed someone to refuse the script of mediocrity. Parrott picked up the pen and rewrote it. The Hungary match wasn't just Troy's best performance in an Ireland shirt. It was one of the most influential individual displays Irish football has seen in a decade. The first goal, a striker's intuition, ghosting between defenders, finishing without hesitation. The second, timing, intelligence, and composure. A finish that looked simple only because he made it simple. And the third, that was the moment everything changed. Crowd roaring, adrenaline surging, Ireland's World Cup hopes flickering like a candle in the wind, and Parrott blew the game wide open. This wasn't luck, this was a player who believes, who finally looks like he's playing at the level people whispered about when he was 17. In those 90 minutes, he wasn't a promising young striker, he was Ireland's talisman. If you ever want to understand what football means to a nation, watch what happens when a player gives fans a moment they didn't expect. Ireland didn't just celebrate the hat-trick, it embraced it. And nowhere was that clearer than Dublin Airport. Hours after the final whistle, the social media team posted an image of the international terminal with a new name plastered across the front. Troy Parrott International Airport. A joke, but also a truth. Because gestures like that only happen when a player connects with the soul of a country. Not every striker gets a nickname, not every striker gets a meme. Not every striker gets an entire airport jokingly renamed in their honor. But this week, Troy Parrott did. He gave Ireland belief, and Ireland gave him immortality. To really appreciate what this international break means, you have to understand where Troy Parrott has come from. He exploded onto the scene early. At Spurs, he was a wonder kid, Ireland's next great hope, the pressure of a nation on a teenager's shoulders. But football doesn't care about hype. Loans came. Millwall, Ipswich, MK Dons. Some productive, some frustrating. A carousal of systems, managers and expectations. Each one demanding something different. And through all of it, Parrott kept working. He learned how to press, how to hold the ball up, how to adapt, and how to survive when the spotlight drifted away and the noise quieted. Then came the move to the Eredivisie, a league that rewards technical development and punishes indecision. Slowly, his game matured, the off-ball movement sharpened, the link play improved, and the confidence returned. And finally, for Ireland, it all clicked. This international break wasn't random. It was the payoff for years of setbacks, loans, questions, and resilience. Some players explode instantly. Others, like Parrott, simmer until they're ready to take over. For Ireland, these 5 goals don't just change the mood, they changed the maths. The World Cup dream is still alive because one player refused to let it die. Parrott didn't just score goals, he created belief where there was none. He lifted the team, ignited the fan base, forced the narrative to shift. Ireland now walks into the playoffs with something it hasn't had in a long time. A striker in electric form, a striker who knows he can decide games, and a striker the opponents know have to game plan around. These moments can redefine a qualification campaign, and Ireland suddenly has momentum because Troy Parrott gave it to them. And let's be honest, this changes Troy Parrott's club trajectory too. Strikers live off confidence, and right now, his is sky high. 5 goals in 2 games on the international stage, that gets scouts talking, managers reconsidering, and clubs recalculating. This wasn't a flash in the pan, it was a fully formed attacking performance. movement, composure, energy and leadership. The kind of week that can turn into a season and a career. He's no longer the kid with potential, he's a forward with proof. 5 goals in 2 games, a hat-trick for the ages, a nation revived. In Dublin Airport, even for just a moment, renamed in his honour. The international break wasn't just Troy Parrott's breakout, it was the moment he became a symbol of hope. If Ireland makes the World Cup, remember where the story turned. Remember who lit the spark. Troy Parrott, the week he became a hero.